Having a look at Rossi there. Greetings everybody, this is the Rabid Hedgehog, and we are currently out and about on another wonderfully hot day here in Oklahoma. This is going to be the first motovlog I've ever done, so not very many people do that here in this state. I've been watching a lot of people like SpacePod and XXX Deadhead and all those guys that are out there in California, and kind of went, nah, that seems kind of fun, so I decided to see if I could get into this whole motovlogging thing and kind of get into, you know, just joining a discussion here on YouTube and, you know, through the comments and everything and all that. And so, anyway, a little bit about myself. I've been riding for a while now, but pretty much continuously since February of this year. First time I ever bought my first bike, which was a 83 Harley Davidson. You know, it's one of those things that I saw that bike back in 07 when they first came out with the all black model and really enjoyed and liked it, and, you know, decided to go with that, and, you know, never had a big qualm about it or anything like that. But, you know, my wife decided that she kind of liked bikes and stuff like that, so we tried to go a little bit lighter, and we purchased a Kawasaki Ninja 300 as well. So I got two types of bikes, and, you know, one of those things, and you'll see both of them on this vlog here and there. Now this is actually not the 883 anymore. This is actually the 2014 Harley Davidson 1200T Super Low. Now I'm a little bit tall for the Super Low, and what do I care? It's a comfortable bike still, very powerful for what it is. I like the 1200 engine. It's, you know, perfect. Good torque, good power. Bike can flick pretty easily for what it's worth, even though it's a bigger bike and weighs almost 600 pounds. What I like about this bike is that it does have the saddlebags and everything already attached to it, so, you know, it makes everything a lot better. In fact, I'm carrying its oil change right now with me. You know, makes it easy to live with, and got a good passenger seat that my wife really likes. We went on a 2.5 hour ride with it one day. Actually, it was longer than that, but 2.5 hours there. And went to Lake Murray, Oklahoma. Very beautiful if you're not from this area. It's Oklahoma's known for dirty, nasty lakes, pretty much all red, stained, nasty looking things. But Lake Murray is not one of those lakes. It's actually a very beautiful blue lake. I recommend, if you guys come down to this area, definitely go check out Lake Murray. It's over by Ardmore, Oklahoma, south part of the state. And if you're a rider, you like to ride bikes, 77S completely goes around the lake and curves around it. One of these days I'll do a vlog on that. Beautiful area to ride. Trees, Arbuckle Mountains give it a good backdrop. Yeah, they're hills in Oklahoma, but we call them mountains because we don't know any better. But hey, well, you know, it's lovely. So right now I live in the Edmond area. This is Edmond, Oklahoma. Beautiful area. People here are okay. A lot of them don't really pay too close attention to bikes and can get pretty close to you. Scare you to death a few times, but yeah, you know, I deal with it. I've rode through here quite a bit recently. I've got, like I said, the two bikes. I had the bikes before these too, and over the course of since February, I've got over 5,000, 6,000 miles between the bikes that I've had and the bikes that I currently have. So, you know, I barely drive anymore, so I've gotten used to this traffic and their rudeness to bikes. They don't pay attention. A lot of them are on their cell phones. We have a lot of young people here, things of that nature. But other than that, it is not a bad area. I actually do not live in the city. I live out of it. And that helps out a lot. I can go north and go toward the Guthrie area, and, you know, there's some good riding roads up there. I'll take you guys on the trip down through there, especially when Highway 77 in that area opens back up. They got a bridge out right now. But there's a really beautiful area where it traces one of the creeks up there and makes for a good looking ride. Some pretty fun twisties up there, and you know, it's not all flat here in Oklahoma. A lot of the roads are pretty straight, pretty flat, but around here in central Oklahoma, you'll find that. The more east you go here in Oklahoma, it gets into what's called the cross timbers, where it's a hardwood forest. You have a lot of oak trees and things like that, that when they built the roads, they built them around them. So you get a lot of good twisties, you get a lot of good areas that are just absolutely pretty to ride through. We have the Talamina Drive, which a lot of people ride up and down a lot, and that goes up through Oklahoma into Arkansas and kind of back around. That's a good place that we'll go vlog one day. We also, you can cut off to Lake Keystone and things like that on some of the back highways instead of taking the interstates and turnpikes, and get a pretty good ride out of it, and a good place to show off what this state really has. A lot of people out in California, they have good weather most of the time. Here in Oklahoma, we have a mixed bag. It is the bipolar state. In fact, I am a volunteer storm chaser for the National Weather Service, so I've been all around this state and, know a lot about it and a lot of the roads. And, there's just beautiful places that you can ride through, like up in the Cap Rocks, and there's Red River Canyon. There's places that are really cool places to go to. So, we'll get around and eventually ride through all of them and show everybody what you got. Now I'll kind of get on a topic here, the reason why I have the bikes I've got. First off, I really like the cruiser bikes for the long distances and things that they bring, because cruisers are very comfortable bikes. This 1200T is probably one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever ridden, and I've ridden quite a few of them. I just chose the Harley Davidson, not for the brand image. I'm not a Harley fan or anything like that. I've got my mind open about other bikes, especially like the new Indian Scout they just kind of released. It looks like a great bike. I hope Harley Davidson responds and builds a bike that can go out and do that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with 1130 cc's of liquid-cooled awesome. So, I just like to see Harley Davidson have a competition, but I don't necessarily want to buy all Harley Davidsons. I might take a look at that Scout here pretty soon, and I'll do some bike reviews here and there during these vlogs. But, when it comes to riding a bike, especially if you're a newbie, there's nothing wrong with choosing either type of bike. A lot of people, want to start on like Ninja 250s or the 300, or, bikes that are pretty small like the CBRs and stuff like that that are under 500 cc. It doesn't give them a lot of power, but it gives them the first taste of the wind, and they eventually grow out of that bike and trade it in. But, I'll just put it this way. Find a bike that you're comfortable with. When you go out, go to the dealers and just kind of throw your leg over several different bikes. If you have a little bit of riding experience and you're allowed to go out there, go out and take a few rides and see which one you're more comfortable with. I would think in a more fiscal sense, it's better to go ahead and buy a bike that you can grow into and not grow out of. Don't buy a leader bike if it's too much for you, that's for sure, but buy something that's in between the Kawasaki 636 Ninjas and some of the CBR 650Rs and stuff like that are not terribly overpowered, like the thousands and other leader bikes out there, like the Hayabusa and the ZX14. Those are great bikes, and they're bikes that you'll be able to handle for a long time to come, and they're not so overly powerful that you can't ride one as a beginner, but you'll eventually, can start with it, use its ability to be slow as well as fast to grow into it. And, when it comes down to it, it's also what level of comfort you like. I just happen to like the cruiser position in the Harley. I had to grow into the sport bike kind of lookout. I mean, the Kawasaki Ninja 300 is more of a standard bike in terms of its riding position. You're a little bit more upright. You still lean a little bit onto your forearms and stuff like that onto the handlebars, but it's not terrible. It's not overly aggressive. You're not laying down. But I had to get used to that, and it took me a little bit, but after I did, I found it to be a really good bike. Really just awesome, very flickable, very good bike for what I wanted to do. So I chose also the Harley here for the long distance hauls and other things, especially for carrying, because when it comes down to it, for passengers, my wife is more comfortable leaning away from me than she is into me. That's one thing about almost every sport bike. The pillion seat is always angled a little forward, and it causes a problem for her that makes it very uncomfortable for her to ride for longer than, you know, short little spurts through town. And that's just one thing that I don't have to worry about with this one. She likes it. It's very good to her. It's very comfortable. I like it too because I can ride forever on this thing. Just the position it's in. I've got miniature floorboards down here, and just the riding position's like riding in a Barker lounger. It's wonderful. And Harley put a good seat on it, and I like the little windshield as well. Trust me, once you got, even though it's not up to my head here, once you ride with a windshield like this, you're never going to go back. The cut on the wind is so much better, and I like that. I really like it now. First bikes I had didn't have a windshield at all, so I was being pummeled all the time, and man, this one here, wonderful. But you know, that's just it. Choose a bike that you like the best, and get the style that you're going to ride. If you don't want to be aggressive, if you don't want to take turns at 100 miles an hour, then go ahead and pick up a cruiser. Cruisers are great. I mean, some people still try to push them. You hear them drag their foot pegs and things like that. But why? I mean, why go fast? Riding bikes is about enjoying the bike, enjoying the ride, enjoying the scenery. So you just kind of take it easy and don't be so aggressive, and just kind of look around and enjoy the scenery that's around you. Enjoy life as it goes by you and cruises by you. It's wonderful. I don't like necessarily going fast. I do know how fast my bikes go. I, you know, played with that and tested it. This bike's been to a drag strip. It's got a little bit of a more modified engine, so it's got a lot of grunt to it, and that's what I really like about it, is it's not your standard 1200, and it will shoot down a race or a drag strip in a quick amount of time. About a little over 11 seconds at about 124 in its current configuration. It was quite nice to do that. But when it comes down to it, you know, I didn't do it on the road, and there's no point to. You know, people in front of you, like this guy that doesn't know where he's going, kind of just taking up time because every place that he sees a stop sign or a street locator he's going to stop for because he doesn't know where he's going. So he's going to slow me down. Now instead of doing 45, I have to do 35. So, and no passing zone. There's no point to speed. There's just enjoy it, and it keeps me on the bike a little longer. So, you know, this is just the first vlog. You know, if I've been kind of scatterbrained, sorry about that. Whenever I get this thing going a little bit more, I'd, you know, be happy to take your comments and suggestions on what I should talk about while I'm on these rides. Definitely opened up to that, and definitely would love to hear from you guys and get this going. And definitely I'd like to hear from my Okie friends out here and anybody in the state of Oklahoma that rides. Definitely like to meet up with everybody that I can, go on some good motovlogging rides with everybody, and record the just record the trip and get everybody's reaction, so that way we get a better idea of what this great state's all about. So I hope you enjoyed this first one. Sorry about the scatterbrainness, and I'll make them longer in the future as well. This is the Rabid Hedgehog. Have a good one.